Welcome everyone to our Friday contemplative practice. I'm Jolynn and I will be hosting the session today. Our team of presenters, mostly members of the CCC community, offer contemplative practices every Friday at noon to help us pause from the activity of our week, to reflect more deeply within, to be nourished in spirit, and to join together in community. Today, Barbara Buckley will be offering a contemplative practice. A bit about Barbara. Barbara has participated with CCC for a number of years and is moved by our foundational values, nourished by a range of spiritual practices, and most especially in Judaism, Buddhism, and earth-based spirituality. She is grateful to have discovered her own path and the CCC community that calls us to live out the questions. Since completing her training at the Spiritual Guidance Training Institute, Barbara maintains a small practice of spiritual direction, companioning individuals and small groups on their spiritual journeys. A few logistical reminders. The practice will last 30 minutes, and then we'll open the room for sharing. You will be able to unmute during the sharing time. The practice itself will be recorded, and the sharing time will not be. And now I'd like to hand it over to Barbara.
Thank you so much, Jolynn, and thank you to everyone for being here. It really is, it's a blessing and a gift for us to be together in this way. We, on these Friday practices, which have been going on now for pretty soon, it's going to be 3 years, I think, in a few months. It's kind of amazing. We've had many, or quite a number that I'm aware of practices that focused on metta, loving kindness, meditation. And I'm inspired to go to that loving kindness practice again today. I was on New Year's Day, I spent a few hours at a retreat program through Spirit Rock that Sylvia Bornstein was leading. And I was just very taken by her and a couple of things that she said, and which kind of inspired me to want to focus today on kindness. First of all, she's, I think, in her middle 80s, and she was just a totally authentic, real middle 80s person, which for me at this moment in my life, I so appreciated. You know, she's real, she's funny, but she's everything. And so that piece was just really nice. And then there were a couple of things that she said that just spoke to me and is staying with me. And a main thing really was about kindness. Somebody asked her about what was it that she wanted was most important to her in her practice and in her life. And she paused for a minute and she said, kindness. And it's starting with kindness towards self and kindness towards others, of course, we're spreading out from. But there was just a simplicity and, again, a realness to that statement. What could be more important to her? And maybe I'm thinking maybe to me too, but kindness. And then, well, actually, I'm going to save this other little pearl that I found for just a few minutes. But I think I'd just like to start today with just spending a few minutes and inviting you to spend a few minutes reflecting on the word, the concept, the experience of kindness. And first off, I just invite us to look around in this room, this virtual room that we have, this circle of folks, some of whom know one another well, some of whom have maybe never met half the people in the room or some of the people in the room. So let's just take a minute to look around in the circle and feel yourself connected a little bit with all of us. And as we come into this circle more fully, I just invite you to start with how you are arriving here in this circle today. How are you in this moment? What do you bring from the last hour or two, or the hours since you woke up this morning? What do you arrive here with today? And then going a little farther out, what do you bring here today? How do you arrive from these past few days, from this 2023 year, from the holiday of Christmas and moving back? What do you bring forward into this moment? What from those things are you arriving with today? You might go back a little further to the last few months, the last few years, this season of your life. What is it in this season? How is it that you arrive in this moment, in this season of your life? And as you're more fully present with whatever it is that you bring here, that you arrive with today, just invite you to spend just a short amount of time reflecting on kindness. How do you feel? How do you experience kindness in your body? Where does kindness show up? If it does, unkindness might show up too. But taking kindness, how is that showing? How is that? Are you experiencing that in your body at this moment? And then you might move to your emotions. And you take kindness and you're holding kindness in your being. What are the emotions that you experience as kindness shows up? And then thoughts. When you look at, hear, think about kindness, what are the thoughts that show up? You might see if you could let the thoughts kind of float by, kind of like a movie. Actually, all of this, if you could not necessarily land on any one of them, but just let whatever thoughts about kindness show up, let them notice them, let them pass through. See if there's another one. And with all of that experience in the last couple of minutes, I would invite you to open your eyes again and rejoin the circle of kindness seekers. And one of the other things that Sylvia Bornstein spoke that really just touched me in a way, she said, I would like my mind, and I think she meant also my thoughts, to be like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I don't know if most of you might remember Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the children's program. And Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was a place where everything and everyone could be safe. So Sylvia said, I would like my mind to be like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, where whatever came through, I would feel safe about. I would feel was safe. And I just thought, wow, that just really struck me as a beautiful way of thinking about things. And I was wondering, when we just spent this last couple of minutes looking at kindness, and maybe unkindness came up, is it possible? Did it feel safe to imagine, to think, to remember all different aspects of kindness? That would be the invitation, though, for me. Someone said, I was looking for, there must be some inspirational quotes about kindness and poetry. And there actually are a lot of things, but I don't know who said this, but someone said, you will never speak to anyone more than you speak to yourself in your head. So be kind to yourself. And I thought that was interesting and useful. And also for me, though, like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, I want it to be okay for me, and maybe you do too, if there's something that feels unkind that comes through, to not like have to reject it in a violent way, but to notice it and let it go. We don't have to be, because in a certain kind of way, to reject things in an insistent way can be unkind also. It came through us, it belonged to us. So what? Kind of, maybe it's not so what, but can we just let it go? So that's my sort of thoughts, reflection about kindness, loving kindness. And I thought then we just spend 5 or 10 minutes in just doing a traditional loving kindness meditation. So I'll just guide us in that, and we'll just take a couple of minutes on each of what is traditionally 4 steps or 4 aspects of loving kindness. And traditionally, at least I think how most people teach it, is that first we apply it to ourselves. And then maybe the same day, maybe not for a few days or a couple of weeks, we can apply it to others and invite that to others. So I will guide it as speaking to ourselves, and then I will also have it speak to others, but do whatever is best for you. So again, just make yourselves as comfortable as possible. If closing your eyes is a good thing, do that. It doesn't need to be. Just be in whatever place of comfort, of most particularly body comfort, that you can be in this moment. See if you can hold yourself with whatever it is that comes up, with kindness, with gentleness, with warmth. So again, begin to open your awareness to your surroundings, to sound, to breath. And just begin with the thought, with the words, may I be happy. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be at peace. I invite you to offer loving kindness to someone else. You might think of a person that you would particularly like to offer loving kindness to. Could be someone you know well, could be someone you noticed in the grocery store yesterday, could be someone in the world screen that we see. Just take a moment to bring to mind someone that you would like to spend a couple of minutes sending loving kindness to them. So holding that person or group of persons in your mind's eye and in your heart. May they be well. May they be happy. May they be safe. May they be at peace. And then if it feels right, I would invite you to expand your awareness to include everyone and every being. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well. May all beings be safe. May all beings be at peace. I invite you to slowly bring yourself back into this circle of beloved community that we've created this small amount of time here for ourselves and for one another, for beings we do not know, for beings we know very well. So I just would invite you to take a minute to notice one another in the room with gratitude, and then we will close the formal part of the program.